Hey fellas, Lagoon here, and people are really mad at Sony right now. Recently, the much anticipated announcement for the PS5 Pro happened, and it has not gone down well at all, it seems. Now, let me preface this discussion by saying that I love my PS5. I have the regular original disc edition one, and I think that thing is great. It has so many, nice features, it has a great user experience, a lot of fun games on it. I've been playing Astrobot, which just came out, which is really, really good, and I'm also playing the, DLC for Persona 3 Reload, which is also really good. So I speak from experience when I say that the PS5 is really good. I really enjoy this console with all of its problems, and the problems are something I can talk about another day. But to cut to the chase, they announced a new type of PS5. It's the Pro model with better specs, and it costs $700. That is the biggest point of contention with this reveal. The fact that the thing is going to cost $700. And not only that, it will not come with a disk drive or a stand, which I'll touch on more later. But right now, I just want to talk about this console. I've seen some videos on it, specifically the ones by Topic Arlo and Spawnwave, so go watch those. If I repeat any of the points in those videos in this one, it's just because I agree with them. But anyways, let's just talk about this ridiculous announcement, the good of it, the bad of it, the really ugly of it, and we'll see where we land by the end of it. I don't know. Let's just get into this. So it was announced yesterday, like I said, that there's going to be a PS5 Pro. It's something we've all been expecting. It's what happened with the PS4, because there's a PS4 Pro. And first of all, let's just touch on the basics of this. It's going to have just better specs, bigger GPU, gonna have better ray tracing, AI upscaling, stuff like that, which is stuff that everyone expected of a PS5 Pro, you know? The features alone don't set the world on fire, which is going to be a problem, but it is a very stock standard console upgrade. The problem is that that stock standard upgrade is going to cost $200 more than the system that I bought, the PS5 original disc edition. This is such a baffling choice. It's hard for me to say that things are overpriced because I don't know the production cost and what goes into making these things. The problem is nobody does, so we're just speaking from a consumer standpoint. As a consumer, seeing how much this damn thing costs, it's just baffling. I believe I got my PS5 at $500. I think that was the price of the basic one that I have. For an upgrade of a system that costs $200 more than the system that I bought, or even I think $300 more than the one without the disc drive, you're going to have to put a lot of oomph into that. And I am sure, I know I'm stupid. I don't know much about tech specs or visual fidelity or anything, but I don't think the amount that they are showing here is worth the $200 to $300 boost. And that's not even mentioning the things that's missing, which I will touch on. So I've been looking at the presentation that announced it, and they compare games like Ratchet & Clank and Horizon Forbidden West, how each of them compare on the original PS5 and the PS5 Pro. And I don't think it is exaggeration to say that it's not enough change here. They went into detail about things look at the background of the crowd scenes of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and yes, they do look better. I can see that the crowds in the back of Ratchet & Clank and stuff, they look like they're more detailed. I can see them more clearly because they're usually more blurry because they're crowds. Usually crowd scenes, take for example Mario Kart or something, crowd scenes are usually of pretty low graphical quality, you know, because they are a crowd. They are a mass of things, a mass of entities or whatever that's going to be in the background. And I can see why it's impressive to see things like that be more detailed, or things like in the remake of Last of Us Part 1. I can see the value. I can tell that there is a difference sometimes, but the problem is with that difference is that it's so minuscule to 99.9% of people, it seems. It's not worth the price. And I'll finally touch on this now. The $700 may not be the final price that you pay for the PS5 Pro because it does not come with a disc drive or a stand like the model that I have has, for example. The disc drive missing is the biggest blow to this system. And it's not just digital only. You can buy an add-on disk drive to attach to the side of the console, and then it becomes just like a normal disk system. But I'm pretty sure that disk drive is like $80. Yes, looking here on the PlayStation website, it says $79.99. So $80 for that you're adding on to a $700 purchase if you wanted to play disc-based games. And I know not everyone plays disc-based games. Some people go all digital, but like, just for the sake of trying to compare it to the model that I have, you're going to want to have this, and it comes with the stand. Now, the stand is not anything crazy. It's not like something worth dying on a hill for, but I guess you could say it's something you got for free with the PS5, right? The cost of that separately is $30. So, even if you don't want the stand, even if you don't want the disc drive, just for the sake of conversation, let's say that you want a PS5 Pro that has the same functionalities as the PS5 disc system that many of us bought for $500. To get that same amount of features on the PS5 Pro, you're going to need to pay $700 for the PS5 Pro, pay $80 for the disc drive, and $30 for the stand. That is insane. That adds up so quick. I'm not even going to say that it adds up so quickly, because it was already an insane price for the base system itself, for the $700 PS5 Pro. The Pro model, not including these things, they're not even being a disc option to buy the PS5 Pro with the disc drive already. That just makes this feel so much worse than it already feels. It already just feels like they're nickel and diming us, you know? Like, they're trying to squeeze us of like whatever amount of money they can. But just not including the disc drive, not including the freebie plastic stand, so like nobody cares about the stand, but it not being here is insane. It is an insane decision. But you might be saying it's that it's more expensive because we're getting more power, but as I touched on earlier, that power is not going to good use, and I don't know who is going to take, like, what developers are going to take good advantage of said power, and two, I don't know the size of the consumer base that is going to even notice this. Like, I barely notice this, and I avidly play games. The average PlayStation buyer, the just normal person that wants to play Call of Duty and like Spider-Man, they aren't going to be able to tell a difference. And I know this isn't a system for those people. This is a system for the people, the niche, that will tell the difference. But even then, I don't know if this is worth it to anybody. And the examples that they give us here of comparisons of PS5 to PS5 Pro are just bad. Like, they aren't good. I'm looking at the crowd scene for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and like, sure, there's more detail in the crowd scene of this that's cool, but this is in a platformer, a game where you're constantly moving, you're adjusting the camera, trying to get into the flow of a platformer. It's just not a necessary difference for a game like this. They also show Gran Turismo 7 here, and these racing games like Gran Turismo, Forza are usually gorgeous. They're gorgeous already, but they're talking about like the ray tracing and increased graphical fidelity of these racing games. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't played Gran Turismo or Forza, but when you're going at like 200 miles per hour in a race, I'm not focused on how the reflection of the bumper looks on my car, you know? I was talking to a friend about this before recording, and they also show Spider-Man 2 here. They show like increased detail and stuff on like the cars and everything. My friend brought up, in Spider-Man 2, you're usually like swinging around, going Mach Jesus through this city, and like, yes, you will stop to take in the sights frequently because the game is gorgeous, but when you're playing the game and going through and web slinging through New York City, what difference is it going to make that the details on the ground are better? Because this is a game where you're going really fast, doing lots of fluid movement. What good is the graphical fidelity boost to Spider-Man 2? And they show things like Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't played Horizon Forbidden West, but from what I've seen, it already looks gorgeous. And they're talking about the detail in like the hair and the pores that are enhanced by PS5 Pro. And like, yes, but I don't need that to be better. It looks amazing already. There is a big talking point around this console that, like, in a lot of games for PS5, you have to pick between a fidelity or a performance mode, which is choosing between having better visuals but like 30 FPS, or having slightly worse visuals but with a higher like 60 frames per second, if a game can hit that. And they say themselves in this thing most people, 3 out of 4 people, pick the performance option for the better frame rate. And of course, you have to ask, like, if I'm buying a really super powerful console, why do I have to pick? Like, can I have my cake and eat it too? Can I pick fidelity, have 60 FPS, and have the game still look as it would if I did pick the graphical option? That is a very valid point to make. It makes you wonder if we were even, I guess, ready for the PS5 and Xbox Series X by extension. If we were even ready for those when they came out because developers couldn't get the high resolution that they were boasting and the high frame rate that they were boasting. Like, the PS5 itself isn't able to do that, but it was advertised like it was. Arlo in the Topic Arlo video talks about this. Go watch that video. But it's kind of a kick in the ass that we were promised really powerful systems, and we aren't getting the full power of those systems without a mid-generation upgrade. The big power that it feels like we were promised. And even then, games on the PS5 now, yes, they look gorgeous, they look amazing, but they don't seem to use the PS5 at its fullest potential, you know? Now, I don't know anything about what's actually going on behind the scenes with these games, but to just like me, an average onlooker who's playing PS5 games, it just doesn't feel like we've gotten to the point where we have seen what the PS5 is completely capable of, and now we're upping the price to make it more capable. This generation of consoles has been so odd because it hasn't really felt like it's gone anywhere, I guess? Like, I told you I love my PS5, but a lot of the games on there, to my untrained eyes, they look a lot like PS4 games. Like, yes, they have the added ray tracing and games just look like astounding, but they look only marginally better than what we could get last generation. And so you buy the PS5 with the hope that, yes, the games look good now, but they're going to look better later. They're going to look magnificent later as developers learn more and more how to utilize the full potential of the PS5. But apparently they've been doing that and asking more of it? I don't know, and that's not to discredit developers at all. They are doing what they can with the system. They're doing the best that they can, and in a lot of cases they are doing a great job. But if developers can barely utilize what we have right now, then how the fuck are they going to use what we're going to get with the PS5 Pro? I don't get it. And I know the reason I don't get it is because this console isn't for me, you know? I said earlier, it's for that niche, for the person that really cares about this fidelity, is kind of fed up with where the PS5 is. But that person is such a small minority, it seems, in the grand scheme of the consumer base, that you just have to wonder, is it enough for this console to be successful? Will enough people buy the PS5 Pro if they already have a PS5? And if a regular person that just is a normal, average, casual gamer, if they go into a store and see that, oh, they have the PS5 Pro for $700, or they have the PS5 for $500 or $400, why would they buy the Pro over the normal one? Especially when it costs an arm and a leg. I don't know if this is the cheapest they could have possibly made the console. Like, I don't know if they're even selling this at a loss or not. They could be, and it could be that they're shoving this full of so much tech, so many better parts, that this is the lowest that they could have possibly done it. If that is the case, I could understand that. But from a wide market perspective, I don't know how many people are going to pay the extra money, in some cases paying over $800 to get the disc drive and the stand if they want it, for a console that looks barely better than the console we already had. And that console was already just marginally better than the PS4 to like a normal just looking at it perspective. Who's gonna buy the $700 one if the additions are so minuscule? Now, keep in mind that this is a trailer that's being compressed and streamed. I'm sure that in person, the PS5 Pro probably has a visible difference between the original and here. But even if you can notice that difference when you are looking at it in person, is that difference worth sometimes $300 more than what you can just buy now? I don't think it is, just by how they described it. I'm just kind of going in circles here. Basically, to wrap it all up, is just that I don't know if the audience for a PS5 Pro is big enough for it to succeed, and if it can have a improvement big enough so that that niche actually wants it. It's just hard to see this product working on a larger scale, you know? It's gonna be really interesting to see when this thing comes out and see the sales numbers and the reviews and stuff. So tell me in the comments, are you looking forward to the PS5 Pro? Did you like the announcement? Did you think that it was a great announcement? Are you planning planning to get this PS5 Pro day one? Are you planning to make that upgrade if you have a current PS5? Or if you're trying to get into the ecosystem at all? Or are you like me and you're just not seeing the value in this? Does the PS5 Pro offer enough for you to warrant a purchase of it? Please let me know in the comments, and in addition to saying that, I want you to tell me all the things you can buy for $700 that aren't a PS5 Pro, because I feel like that would be really funny. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little discussion. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you when we have more shit to talk about. God, $700. That's more expensive than ass, and I've been watching the ass market lately. It's out of control!